Hey, it's Arthur with Arthur's Tiny House Blog. I just wanted to post a video since I haven't posted any new videos in a while about my table saw. This is a Delta Sidekick 8¼ inch contractor saw. I found this on the side of the road and it was in serious disrepair when I found it. The top here was completely covered in paint spatter. The blade here, it would barely even turn. The leg here had not the leg, the corner here was completely separated from the rest of the unit because apparently, best guess, it had suffered a fall at some point. The fence was completely rusted. Actually, a lot of this was rusted. So over the course of a few months, I've had this for about a year. Over the course of a few months, I decided that I was going to slowly put this back into working condition. The bearings in the motor had frozen. Initially, it didn't come with one of these at all. I found that in a free pile. So, well, for the total cost that I've put into the saw, which is pennies actually, it was mostly elbow grease, removing of the rust, and using things like Johnson's paste wax here to give the surface here some lubricating agents here, and make it so that it well, this won't rust. This is aluminum, but it's a decent saw. I'm not fond of this. I would love to be able to put a zero clearance insert on this, but unfortunately, well, I can. It's going to be a little bit more challenging than your average zero clearance insert, unfortunately. Well, actually, you know what? Now that I'm looking at this thing, no, it's a perfect rectangle. So I don't know what I was thinking before. I was thinking about that, actually, that little nub there where the hinge comes out for the changing the angle. Anyway, one of the things I'm working on currently is I'm making a table saw sled. And I've seen a number of videos where people have been taking strips of plywood and then slowly getting it to the right width here, just making sure that it's correct. And I was like, that's actually not terrible, but I had an easier way of doing this. So what I did was I took, this, and I lined my fence directly up to it to get the correct... Sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed. It was a lot easier when I was not actually trying to do this on a video. Anyway, and I lined the fence up to it so that it lined up perfectly, and then locked down the fence. Remove this. Made sure that it was absolutely square. No, yes, that was a thing. The fence on this thing is absolutely terrible, but I've managed to I've managed to fix it enough so that over time, the fence is within a few. It's fairly accurate. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, and then these were paint stirrers from Home Depot. I ran them through, and now I've got 2 runners for my upcoming table saw sled. To be continued. Okay, so what I've done is I've raided our vacation bucket here, our coin bucket here, to retrieve these pennies. Actually, hold on a second. I need to turn on the light. So there's additional illumination. Anyway, so I've raided these for these pennies, and what these pennies are going to do is raise these runners up over the edge of the table. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay a piece of plywood on the top, and I'm going to glue these runners to the plywood. Okay, so now I've squared up my piece of plywood. I've sanded down the runners, and I applied a layer of glue. As you can see, I'm using a Tight Pond 2 here. I've put the piece of plywood on top, and I'm weighing it down. And now to wait about half of an hour for the glue to set up. After that, we'll give this a test and see how well the sled slides through the runners. Okay, so the glue is set, and I've removed the pennies, and sure enough, glides nice and smooth. I was afraid that it might stick a little bit, but no. I've also taken the floor wax over there, and I've liberally lubricated the runners. Now, next up is I've got to put I'm not even sure of the term. It's not a. It's a push. It's going to be a 3/4 inch piece of wood, thick wood, here square, so that any pieces that I cut will be square.